In this video, I'm going to run through my tips for the current featured series Open Target Races in Red Dead Redemption 2 Online. This game mode sees players take to horseback, ride around a specific area of the map, shooting targets with a bow and arrow. There isn't a specific route provided, the aim is just to get around the map as fast as possible and shoot the targets. The winner is the player that shoots all those targets the fastest. So here are my best tips for finishing at the top spot on the podium. Tip number 1, follow a route. Now, as I've already said, there's no specific route outlined in the game itself, but this doesn't mean that you can't follow one. Here are images of each map in the game mode, and the route I've found to be the most effective. Following a route takes all the chaos out of the game mode, as you'll see a lot of players running around like completely aimlessly trying to shoot targets, and this isn't the best way of doing things. If you follow the routes that I've put on screen here, then you'll do a lot better than these guys that are just going mad, shooting whatever they can see. Tip number 2, as tempting as it may be, don't shoot other players. As the auto aim is set to narrow and you're mainly using a bow, all that shooting other players will do is slow you down in your attempts to win the game. You will see a few trolls from time to time that only care about shooting other players, but don't engage with them and don't look to get revenge. If they aren't shooting targets, they will make the game last longer, but the longer the game lasts, the more your payout will be at the end. Tip number 3, play like it's free aim. With the auto aim in this game mode being set to narrow, it makes it almost useless, so just use free aim. You can shoot targets from further away with free aim as well, so make sure you don't rely on the narrow auto aim to hit your targets. Also, let your horse's movement do the work too. If you're lining up a shot, you don't necessarily have to move your aim to take it. Just allow your horse's movement to sweep your sights across a target and release your arrow when that dot turns red. Tip number 4. Pick up guns. This rule is only based on whether you pass a gun barrel on your way round the routes. Don't go out of your way to pick up guns, but if you're passing one, then absolutely grab it. Go for rifles and repeaters where possible, as the range on these guns make them very useful. The bows can be quite awkward sometimes, as if you're looking backwards and your character has to swap which shoulder they're looking over, you have to redraw your bow, which slows you down. With guns, of course, when they're cocked, you don't have this issue. Tip number 5, avoid contact. The contact between players in this game mode is even more mental than in free roam. You could slightly graze another horse and fall off, or run face first into another one like it was never even there. If you come off your horse, it's treated like a death and you will respawn, which again slows you down. Tip number 6, take the clear route. It may seem like a great idea to cut through the trees and rocks, but the way your horse reacts to obstacles, like I said before, is even weirder than normal. So where possible, stay on paths and open spaces, because these perceived shortcuts don't actually end up being shortcuts. Tip number 7, use R1 or RB. Slowing your horse down is essential, and just one tap of R1 or RB on Xbox will do this for you. There is no point sprinting at targets all the time, so just slow yourself and take the shot. And finally, tip number 8, keep momentum. Like I said, slowing yourself is a good idea, but there's no reason that you need to be stationary to take the shot. You can start slowly moving towards your next target when you're taking your shots. Doing this saves valuable seconds in the game. But be wary of using the bow and having to redraw it when you swap shoulders. I hope you all found these tips useful. If you're interested, I made a video on some tips for PvP that you can find on screen now. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the straight to the point style of this video. I'm JmCooKie. Cheers.